Greetings, welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the forthcoming album by Queensryche. The album's called Digital Noise Alliance, about to be released on Century Media Records. Now, we all know the band was formed back in the early 80s by original members Jeff Tate on vocals, Michael Wilton on guitar, Chris DeGarmo on guitar, Eddie Jackson on bass guitar and Scott Rockenfield on drums. Now, the band were based in Seattle and they released their first EP, Queen of the Reich, which is a fantastic EP as we all know. It set the ball rolling for the band. The band have gone really well throughout the years, but Queen of the Reich is a brilliant EP and a great start to the band's career. Now, the band had their unique style, very original. They were a fantastic band. Jeff Tate's vocals, I'd say, kind of Judas Priest, Rob Halfordish back in the day. Very talented singer, great performer. Really talented, as like I said, he's got a highly pitched voice and he did really well on that EP. And the band, as we all know, did their first album in 1984 called The Warning. For me, this is my personal favourite album. I actually saw this band on the tour with Dio back in 1984 and they were fantastic. I just think The Warning is a brilliant album and not one bad song on it. So that is my personal favourite. Let me know what you think your favourite album is. Now, the band did the second album in 1986, Rage for Order. This was a brilliant album too. Different from the first album, The Warning, going in a slightly different direction, but the album was really good. Some really catchy songs and it was really well thought out. Now, I guess the image for that album didn't do much justice for the band, but the music spoke volumes. Brilliant album indeed. And this was followed by Operation Mindcrime. Now, for me, Operation Mindcrime was released in 1988 and it wasn't my favourite album. I guess I couldn't get into all the talking in between songs as it being a concept album. I guess a lot of you guys out there felt the same as I did. Very strange album at first, but after a few listens I started to get into it. Good album. Now that album was a very successful album, and the next album, Empire, which was released in 1990, was also a fantastic album. A great follow-up, did a fantastic tour. I got to see him again on that tour, so I was really happy. Now, after the album Empire, the band did Promised Land. Not such a great album. I could see the band going in a slightly different direction. I don't know what happened there, but it wasn't the most strongest album. I would also say the same about Here in the Now Frontier. That was kind of a strange album, and Q2K was also a weird album. But the band came back after Tribe with Operation Mindcrime Part 2, which featured Ronnie James Dio. Now the next two albums were Take Cover and American Soldier. Kind of a strange albums. I could see the band's music starting to go more Seattle sounding. They kind of lost the vibe that they had once, which was a shame because Queensryche were a brilliant band when they first started out. But they did two more albums with Jeff Tate. They did Dedicated to Chaos, and then that was the end of the career with Jeff. He departed and did his own thing. Now his replacement was Todd Latore, a fantastic singer who was in a Crimson Glory tribute band. Some of you may know that. Great singer indeed. Now Todd did his first album with the band back in 2013, which was a self-titled album. I really respect Todd. I think he's done a fantastic job. Okay, he's not the greatest of singers compared to Jeff Tate, but he's a damn good bloody singer. And if you look at it in other terms, Ripper joining Judas Priest, Blaze Bayley joining Iron Maiden, those guys have really helped those bands' careers continue. So you've got to give this guy some respect for being there. Now I think the debut album with Todd Latore is a really good album. Although saying that, the first song, Where Dreams Come to Die, I thought had a really good interesting beginning. I thought the song was going to go really powerful, kind of like Painkiller, but not so much Painkiller, but that power, had that drive. But after a few minutes of the song, it just drifted into a mellow beginning. I was just kind of disappointed somewhat, but it's still a great song and the album is fantastic. In 2015, Todd recorded his second album with Queensryche. It was called Human Condition. I really think it's a really good album. A better step up from the first album that he did with the band, and the band was certainly heading in the right direction. And so they did the next album, The Verdict, which I thought was an even better album. A bit more darker music-wise, but a really well-thought album. Todd's vocals are fantastic, the guitar playing was right on track, and the rhythm section was also great. And so the new album, Digital Noise Alliance, is going to be released on the 7th of October of 2022 on Century Media. This is a brilliant album. There's not one bad song on the album. Every song that the band have done is faultless. It was produced by Zeus. It was worked with the band before. He's also worked with bands like Sanctuary. Fantastic producer. Now I have to say Zeus is probably Queensryche's sixth member. He's a fantastic producer. He's got a lot of experience. He's worked with some great bands out there besides Sanctuary, like I said. And he's worked with Queensryche for the last few albums. I hope he does the next album for the band, but this album is really good. The bonus song is done by Billy Idol and it's called Rebel Yell. I think it's okay, it's not my favourite cover, I'm not a big fan of Billy Idol. Interesting to find out why the band did this as a cover. Yeah, it's a good version, I'm not going to deny that. But me personally, I'm not a Billy Idol fan, so respect to Billy Idol and to the band for doing this. You want to check it out if you like Billy Idol. So there's actually 11 songs that the band wrote themselves, and the song titles are In Extremis, Captures, Lost in Sorrow, Siddeth, Behind the Walls, Nocturnal Light, Out of the Black, Forest, Realm, Hold On, and Tormentum. This is a really good album. It's really heavy for what it is. The band have gone for a heavy approach, but it's still Queensryche. Please don't be put off by that. It's got the classic guitar sound that Queensryche have always had. Both Michael Wilton and Mike Stone are fantastic duo on this album. Like I say, Mike Stone has been in this band before. We've also got Casey Gillero on drums, who's actually playing on the album. So Casey, well done. You may know Casey from his work with Camelot, but Casey's been doing live performances with this band over the last few years. So to have him on this album is a bonus, and I really respect the band for putting him on this album. Now, the first song, In Extremis, is a brilliant opening song, packs a punch, it's really powerful. Todd's vocals really do shine through. It's a really well-arranged song. It's one of those songs that is really great for an opening album, so you really need to check out this song. It's called In Extremis. Now, I guess you could say the next song, Chapter, kind of reminds me a little bit of the Empire era, Queensryche. It's a really good song. It's kind of mixed in with the first album that Todd did with the band as well. Now, the next song is called Lost in Sorrow. This is a really good song. Fantastic vocals by Todd. He's a great performer live as well. It's a really well thought out song. Great melody hooks. Solid song all around. Now the next song, Siddeth, is probably one of the heaviest songs on the album. It's not a really fast song, but it's got a really up-tempo groove to it. Brilliant vocals. Like I said again, Todd is one of the best singers out there, and he's done a fantastic job on this album. But the music is really good as well. You can definitely hear that Todd's debut album has some influences on this song. Now the next song is called Behind the Walls. This kind of reminds me of something from The Verdict or Human Condition. Really well thought out. Fantastic song all around. Catchy as well. Now the next song is called Nocturnal Light. It's a brilliant song. This would be an absolute fantastic song in the band's forthcoming tour. Everything is just fantastic about it. You can't fault the playing and you can't fault the singer. One of the best songs on the album. All in all, this is a brilliant album. Anybody who likes Queensryche is really going to like this. And if you're a Todd lover, this is probably one of the best album that he's done with the band. So give this album a chance, guys. You know, Todd's a brilliant singer. Queensryche is still Queensryche. No matter what you think, I'd like to know what you think of this album. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think about Queensryche as they are now. So this album, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. It's probably one of the best albums the band have done, and certainly the best album they've done with Todd. So the band are on tour very shortly with Judas Priest. So if you have the opportunity to see them in the States, please do. You're one lucky person. So thanks for watching this Metalheads. Be safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.